as you can see here, this is what it's been so far. A pseudo advertisement, complete with the city of Toronto being silhouetted in the background, a moon and above, all the other whatnot I added to it so far. Plus, I have to use some colored pencils from over here. So first off, we need to get the most dominant color we're probably going to deal with is red. We got plenty of them. And let's kick it off with this like dark red right here. And we're going to start with, well, who else but Ace Ripley's iconic sweatshirt. Now there's a few differences I have compared to the cartoon version of him. I actually added a few extra details such as drawstrings for his sweatshirt. And from the pedal photo over there, I actually gave him like laces and a bow, since his original design didn't feature that. And you can see I'm trying to be careful as much as I can. Now, you may be wondering what are the rules of my channel, because most people will not go into the description of my channel to read out the whole thing, so I'll just give you the rules on the spot. Rule number 1, since we're almost to November, do not talk about politics. I don't care which side you're voting with. I just want to have this be a perfectly unified community for myself to share my crazy things that most people don't talk about that much. Number 2, all the adult entertainment robots or scams. Like, I ain't falling for that, so anyone who gives out links to that will be banned on the spot. Also getting banned on the spot is anyone affiliated with the UTTP, a notorious cult known as the YouTube Troll Police, who's done very ridiculous things, some of which you can easily look up, and, well, I can't really say much on this because, well, YouTube regulations. So I can only say a few things, and let's just say they've done bad things to people, animals, and all their whatnot, and Reddit is their breeding ground. So that's just about it for that. And also, one thing has to be defined, and that is, gotta have some respect in the comments. After all, this is a YouTube channel. And we want people to feel happy that they are here and other whatnot. So, the rule for respect is, if it's profane in terms of negativity, or anything that is like controversial, like against your political, racial, or religious whatnot, I ain't putting up with that. We're all Homo sapiens. We're all humans. We're all humans enjoying life. So don't be controversial and choose your words wisely. As we're almost done with his sweatshirt. Almost, because we gotta go into the colored pencils again to bust out the cream. Yeah, it's got the same color scheme as the Detroit Red Wings with their 2014 Winter Classic uniforms. In terms of actual colors, it was red and cream when they played at Ann Arbor. And but this I'm gonna probably reuse for his Converses because that's what he actually has. Now I bust out the cream. which also looks like skin tone almost. I'll take it anyway because we don't have that much in terms of variety. Just, let's see, just to check. Yeah, this is skin tone. So I just checked, got a piece of mail, old mail, and I decided, yeah, we'll just check, and apparently this is skin tone. So the character's got really defined eyebrows, very aggressive ones, more aggressive than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I'll tell you that. And because he is a character voiced by Lion Smith, he gets to sing his own theme song, which is an automatic banger. Trust me, I'm not the only one saying this. If you want a good review of the show, Benzie Johnson has a great review of the show. And trust me, it is a blast. And the fact that he said on the thumbnail that Canada comes in clutch. They weren't joking, especially for a show that did not come to the United States because all the networks were afraid to pick up a Canadian show post Super Noobs. Because, you know, most Americans, when it comes to cartoons, they're like Team America World Police-like. Because they're like very patriotic when it comes to their cartoons. And they despise Canada for, oh, their budget's so cheap, and oh, flash animation, blah, blah, blah. Forget all that. Especially the fact that Mr. Enter has famously derailed a lot of Canadian cartoons in his reviews. A lot of which have little to no merit. Some of his claims are very baseless too. So, yeah. So we got his... So now we got his face down. We're going to go to his hands. Got one curled hand down there, another up here. Because he has a pose in one of the promos on his home channel in Canada, Teletoon, now known as Cartoon Network 2.0 in Canada, where he would actually have his arms crossed and he would have Mendel the squirrel on his shoulder. Now, the question is, you may be wondering, why does he have a squirrel? Well, some reason is spoiler-based, so I can't really give you out too much. The show does have a lot of nods to Japanese, like Mon-era video games and anime. You know, like Saban-era Digimon and the early WB era of Pokemon. So you know you'll be guaranteed with a whole bunch of action. And characters that are crazy looking and are of animal based. So, yeah. So with skin tone done, actually, do I have any alternative option for cream? No, I'm gonna have to use this. Great. I'm gonna have to be a little light on this, because his sweatshirt has the cream color. And cream is similar to skin tone. I just gotta be very light with it. And yes, I did the outlining for a lot of these in pen, by the way. I was up early this morning doing this. Yeah. Just get that down. Yeah, I gotta get his left arm. Gotta get his left arm. Now he does have a very unique symbol on his sweatshirt. It is basically a part of a DNA strand, because he obviously has the ability to create new scrammers with the compass-sized D-scram system. which can take the DNA of an animal, combine it with an inanimate object to create the Scrammers, which is a totally 90s concept that apparently still works in this modern era, especially in 2019. Now I just gotta bust out, what other things? And let's see, we gotta get black or dark blue. I'm gonna say dark blue because his hair does have a bit of a bluish shine to it. And check this. Yeah, this is good right here. Yeah. So, most of the stuff I'll be doing is within the community tab, where a lot of my interests will get to flow very quickly, without the need of having to do a video. But I promised everyone this, that I'll be busting out my first video, and this is the case. And by the way, I am Shane Harris, to prove that I'm not an AI junket from overseas. And this is my channel so far. So, and yes, we are live, not too far from Philadelphia. We're in Salem, New Jersey, having a great time discussing my interests, and what I like the most is Canadian cartoons as of right now. Okay, we got the red, we got the cream, we got the bit of blue in his hair. Now we need to finish up the other bits on his body. So we're going to bust out jean-colored blue and the sweatshirt red again. And also bust out the orange, because his laces is burnt orange. And we do not have burnt orange in our colored pencil section. So I'm going to have to do it in traditional orange. Yeah, it's not easy to do this, but I like having fine details. The finest of details. That's orange, so we put that back. There we go. Then we have to do his jean leg. And yes, I'm not doing any fancy music or anything in the background. I even muted the television because as of the time of recording this, which is just past 2 o'clock, WPVI is showing Tamron Hall, and they are currently doing a segment where they're promoting some Disney PR puff piece for a new movie called The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat, which is a movie from Searchlight Pictures, and it's going to be on Hulu. And because it's, you guessed it, The Supremes, there's going to be music from them playing, so I said, mute the television so you can deal with me instead. And if you hear a bit of barking, that is my dogs. I have 4 of them. 4 really adorable and crazy dogs. Now we gotta do the tachometer. Obviously, he's gotta have the red arrow. And since this is a Pontiac, I decided to go all out on this. The red iconic arrowhead. Good times of me hearing about the legendary Ricky Craven win at Darlington in the Carolina Dodge Dealers 400 in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series in 2003. final win for Pontiac in NASCAR. It was legendary. It was legendary indeed. Sure, I was an infant at that time, but watching it later, it is still epic to this day. Shame it's not the closest finish in NASCAR history anymore. Kyle Larson managed to eclipse that record at Kansas earlier this year with his Chevrolet. Now, I do have a slew of other fan art pieces I like to show you, some of which are not complete. And just get that around. Now we have to do the car itself. So we're going to switch to a different shade of red. We're also going to bust out gray because I referenced Saab Kyle 04's video on the Pontiac Fiero GT from 1986. Sorry for the shaky little hand, because my left hand's literally holding the phone, my right hand's doing all the scribbling. So the video he had, which was a silver Fiero GT with an automatic, but it did have a 3800, so that's good. There we go, and you gotta do the stick shift because 5-speed was an actual option back when the GT came out. And trust me, it would be a lot better than an automatic for these cars, but Fiero GTs are very rare at this point of life. Heck, Pontiac is literally rare now. So now we bust out the black because there is some black parts to the car. Like this, something that separates the B-pillar window with the door. And obviously we'll just go ahead and do the tires. And the wheel design for some of these are very hard to duplicate on paper. Like if I had a large poster of sorts, it would be easy, but some of the wheels that they offered at the time for the Fiero GT was very complex. And we're gonna put this black pencil out. And we're gonna go ahead, put the gray back in as well, and now we paint the car. And we just bust out yellow because it's got flippy up headlights. Because it's the 80s. Duh. And the car does have like a silver split in the bottom, which I marked. As you can see, the bottom half is like silver. And the red I chose, well, can't really determine, but it does make sense. After all, some of the flashy reds would turn a bit faded anyway. And like I have said before, Saab Kyle 04 has a phenomenal video discussing about the Fiero GT with an in-depth review of all the whatnot that goes into this thing. And for the people who try to vote for the Dodge Stealth, you guys came in second, but Sabakyle04 does have a phenomenal review of that car. Came with a exhaust manifold switch, which is standard at the time. Yep. Now we gotta do the top half of the car. And we're gonna do the wing, because the GT variants do get a miniature wing in the back, which doesn't look gaudy at all, unlike all the racers out there. Yeah, I definitely despise racers. They're the reason why the early 90s Civics are very hard to come by unmolested. And this is we're at the rear engine area. There's a gas tank right there. So yeah, my right hand's gonna be a bit tired after I'm done doing all this. As you can see, it's not easy. But this phone does not have a stand. So, yeah, I'm doing this by myself. And, well, you guys came here for it. Alright. At least we are almost done with the car itself. Just fill in some of the blatant white spots. Yeah, this is the front trunk area, by the way. For anyone who knows what a Fiero is, the front, just like the newer Corvettes and a lot of the Lambos, this is basically the frunk, which you can hold, allegedly, you can hold a couple of bit of groceries and a set of golf clubs in there, as what most people try to spew out. We do the little bit of yellow for the headlamps. Now we have the moon, because why not? So I'm going to bust out a different shade of yellow right here to handle the moon, because Toronto does look pretty at night, and Toronto is the home city of Nelvana. It's been proven time in, time out. Now we're gonna do and now the tough question is, how do I bust out the blocky letters? Well, come to think of it, we're going back to our old favorite red again, because red's been a helpful color to me. And now we're almost done, folks. Almost done with this. What is my first fan art piece to ever be broadcasted onto my channel. Give me an F. Give me an I. Give me the big letter E. Something on the bottom. Sometimes the writing surface is a bit questionable at times, but I've always dealt with that for many years. And now we're on to the letter R. And curl that underneath. There's the R split. Then we add the letter O, as they try to be fancy. Come on, hand. Don't give up on me like this. Now we're gonna bust out orange to finish the rest and give it a bit more variety in terms of the color options being displayed. And no, I'm not doing a full-fledged nighttime bit because that will take me ages to do, with myself having to do all the coloring with one hand and my phone holding on the other. Especially for a former video class student like myself, I'm only here for the talking. It's been proven time in, time out, especially at my district. Yep. And a fun fact about Pontiac's iconic We Build Excitement gimmick. One of their songs in 1988, 89, and 90, they did the Get Up on Your Pontiac and Ride series of commercials. The guy who did the male vocals happens to be a guy by the name of Mark Campbell. Campbell, surprisingly, get this, he was on Back to the Future from 1985. Yes, the Back to the Future of Michael J. Fox. He was the dubbed-in voice for Michael J. Fox when they did the Johnny B. Good bit. However, based on what I heard on an interview that Campbell was a part of, he got some of the shares on the official soundtrack release from MCA or some other record label that's close to Universal. So he made money, but he wasn't really credited. He was only mentioned in the special thanks section, alongside a few car manufacturers and some of the places they filmed at, and a few other notable people. And the letter T right there. Then we bust out the letters G and T. And look at this. Move that out of the way. Let's see. Look at this. This is history, folks. This is history. And on top of that, Earlier this month, I did a custom theme song lyric sheet as well. And its theme song is very catchy. Because, sure, it was relegated down to 30 seconds per Canadian TV rules, it still did its job. Look up that show's theme song. Lion Smith performs it as Ace Ripley himself. And it'll get in your head real quick. Funny enough, it shares the same pitch as Sledgehammer and the Dutch RTL4's Formula 1 theme from 1997. Yeah. So now I'll bring you some of the other fan art pieces as I'll transport y'all into the void due to privacy reasons. And I'll head into my bunker and bust out some of my other fan art pieces that I've been doing for the past few months, some of which are incomplete. Ta-da! I've done several different characters so far, some of which are incomplete due to time and other whatnot. I did Todd from Wayside, a bit aged up. Mauricia of Wayside, but aged up. The inflated right hand is a nod to what actually happened in the cartoon. She punches in the name of love. Dana, also from Wayside. The one and the only Johnny Test, because he's that dang legendary. Tyler of Super Noobs, a real guilty pleasure of mine. Probably the last time we've ever had a TV show that was purposely made bad. Ever since, we never had a series that tried too hard like that. Camp Lake Bottom's McGee. One of the last times Scott McCord ever had a character that was voiced in a high-pitched voice. Unfortunately, he recently said that he couldn't really do that voice anymore due to age. Then we got Ed from Get Ed. This one I'm still working on. This was Lion Smith's first and only Disney character he did. It was part of the Jetix series on ABC Family back in the day, and also Toon Disney. Very underrated. Chuck McFarlane from Chuck's Choice, a series that never came to the US, but it's a silly little show from 2013. Ava Way from Oban Star Racers, a French series, which is very dynamic. Eric from Sidekick. Excuse the fact that I didn't draw glasses on him, but it's silly. It has a few plot holes, and this show did come to the US, but only for a brief 2-year stint on Ion Television. Yeah, the rerun home of Criminal Minds. And that's it for the fan art stash. And, ladies and gentlemen, the road to making this show relevant again, or should I say, finally, in America, is beginning. I'm Shane Harris, and I'll provide you with other great things coming soon, including my own series called Shane Harris Tonight, which will be me giving you a whole bunch of verbal stuff about what's been going on as of late. Well, not in my personal life, but around the world that is not political, like maybe NASCAR, maybe pro wrestling, maybe something that's going on with TV, I don't know. But until then, I will see you then. Good night or good morning to anyone who's watching on the other side of the world. Till then, bye.